Hi everyone, my name is Mihaela from CES Pharma. We're having Dr. Sara Diaz with us today. Hi Sara, and thank you for joining us. Sara
Thank
Diaz
you.
is veterinarian doctor at Elite Pigeon Center in Portugal. And as we promised, we're going to discuss today about the molting season. Sara, please tell us what is molting, what does it really represent, and what happens during molting, and why is it so important?
Important. The molting season is the period when the pigeon change the complete feeders, or should be. Sometimes we have problems that and they can complete the molting, but it's not normal. This is the big opportunity to make the pigeons that was not so good in the last year because they haven't a good molting period. And to make these pigeons be better in the future. Because we have a deep correlation between the molting time and the performance in the racing time. If we don't have
we can delete a bad season after a good molting and start a new season with fresh feathers and
yes. Okay. If we don't have a good molting, we don't have a good performance in the future. This is for sure. Even the pigeon, if is a good pigeon, he can be much better if the molting is perfect, if the feeders are bright with a good aspect and health. If we don't have this in this time, the pigeon won't be so good that he can be in the performance in the racing time.
So if we don't pay enough attention to molting and the way the pigeon changes his feathers, we cannot expect a good season.
Yes, of course.
And so it's very important.
Yes, many fanciers in this period are on holidays and forget sometimes the pigeons, and this is so important period for them and for the next season. That I think that if some fanciers know this information, they can pay more attention in the future. Because the racing season will be the mirror of the molting. And when I see some pigeons in the racing season, I open the wings and I can see that the molting was not so good, and this obviously will
lead to bad results.
Yes, of course. Of course.
Does this
and some pigeons, they if they are sick in this period, they can complete the molting, or the feeders are not so bright, and of course in the racing season won't be good for them.
Okay. Later we'll discuss about the program, how should the program look during molting, and if you can tell us more about the sickness and diseases and what a fancier should do. How does this process affect the pigeon's body, and how, and what kind of resources are consumed during this molting time?
Yes, this is the most high energy needs period.
Okay.
And there is some important needs that we have to ensure that they have access to these minerals, vitamins, amino acids, and a good balanced food, of course. The minerals and vitamins and amino acids are so vital for the feeders, like they are for our hair. If we don't have these elements, we won't have good feeders, strong and bright. And we have to think that the pigeons fly with the feeders.
Yes, of course.
If they don't have good feeders, they won't fly well.
They can't fly well. Yes.
This is the big point and the mainly point. About the food, we have good. We can talk later about in the plan of the molting about this. And but I was talking the most important amino acid of this period is the methionine that we have in Vitamino, Aminofort, and Sedoplus. These three products are very important in this period, the most important for me, because they have composition very, very important. And with good food, we can ensure a good health
Molting.
for the pigeons and a good molt, of course.
Okay. Should we breed during molting? Would you recommend this or not?
It's not so big problem if we ensure that of course we have to know that if we do both things at the same time, so breathing during the molting season, the molt will delay a little, of course.
Okay.
But if we are talking about the breeders, this is not important because we can extend the molting period
as much as we want.
Yes.
Okay.
We can.
Because you mentioned that some amino acids and some other elements are consumed and energy is consumed during molting. So that's why I'm asking if breeding is recommended or it should not be done.
Yes, we just have to pay attention because in the breeding, in the molting, we have high needs of energy and this type of elements, amino acid, vitamins. So we have to high the level of this
supplement the ratio.
Yes, to ensure that we won't have a problem. And we are talking about the breeders, is not a problem because we can extend the period with more light in the loft, when the days are more small. But we are talking about the racers. For example, in Portugal, the racing season starts in beginning of February, and we start to training in December. So we should have the molting done in the end of November to start training the pigeons. Because if we start training the pigeons with some feeders changing, we can compromise these feeders, right? With intensive exercise. So for racers, it's not a good idea to extend too much the breeding season. But for breeders, I think it's not a problem if we pay attention with supplements, of course.
Okay, and we arrived at the molting program. In your opinion, how should a good molting program look like, and what would you recommend to be done daily or every other day?
Yes, of course. For a molting program, and like in other times of the year, we divide in two parts. First part is the preparation for the molting, and we have to be sure that the pigeons don't have worms, coccidiosis, trichomonas, and
why not? How does this interfere with the molting?
Because can compromise the absorption of the nutrients in the crop and in intestinal.
So you recommend a deworming treatment before molting?
Yes, if we have access to check the samples, feces and crops, we can treat according with the results. If we don't have access to exams, we can do a treatment for coccidiosis, worms, and trichomonas with ambronil is a good example. But be careful, because in this period we should use ambronil, but 5 grams for 4 liters, not
Okay,
for 2 liters.
Okay, so we lower the dosage.
Yes.
Why would you recommend this?
Because it can mark the feeders with the normal doses. But with this dilution, is not a problem.
It's not a problem. Okay.
No.
So in how many days would you recommend the treatment with ambronil?
3 days, 2-3 days before the molting, and if we need during the molting treat for trichomonas, is not a problem.
What would you recommend so we can avoid any problems?
We can use the Trichoplus, is not a problem. We can use yes, we can use ambronil, but with this dilution. Yes, 5 grams for 4 liters. And there is one medicine for tricho that we can use. We have to avoid is dimetridazole. We can use because
so stay away from dimetridazole during molting period. Okay, good to know.
Ronidazole is a safe drug. It's not a problem. Okay, and
so anything that contains ronidazole, it's safe.
Yes, and we can use 1 time per month is enough, and we can ensure the good health with Oxyplus and Tricogo and Sanocest are products that can balance the others bacteria, fungals, and virus, right?
So we sorry, we make a treatment before, and after that we maintain the health of pigeons with Sanochest and Tricogo. Okay.
Yes, we can put in the end of the movie a daily plan that we propose. It's more easy to see that.
Yes, we'll do that.
Of course, in this period, I already talked about Cedoplus, Vitamino, and Aminofort. It's very important. The healthy oil is also very important because has high energy of seeds, and is too much important in this time. And the food, in the market we already have good brands with balanced food. We just need to choose one that give us trust in the quality seeds, because the composition could be good, but if the quality of seeds are not...
What kind of food would you recommend? Rich food, a fatty food, or which kind of food?
The best brands in the market also have
special for molting.
Yes, normally are food with high energy, more calories, more fats, but depends of the pigeons, because if we are talking about the elders, yes, we should use the molting food
mixture.
But if we are talking about the youngsters, we should use more breeding food.
Why would you say that?
Because they need too much protein than the elders, and if we stop this, we can compromise the growing. Okay,
so pay attention to food also, and pay attention to pigeons. So if you have youngsters, if you have mature birds.
Yes. If we have sick pigeons in the flock, we have to see if the sick pigeons are more or less than 5% of the flock. If they are less than 5%, we can do individual treatments.
Okay.
And if they don't respond in the 4 or 5 days, we should eliminate it. If they are more than 5%, yeah, we have to do some treatments, but we always have to think that this can compromise a little the molting.
What should a fancier do to avoid compromising the molting?
Enrofloxacin, sulfamides are the most important to avoid, yes, and dimetridazole. Of course.
So these are the ones that should be avoided.
Avoid, yes.
Okay.
Of course, if we have a problem, in this time we have to check a vet to give the best advice. But these 3 medicines should be always avoided and try other alternative drugs.
So we should avoid dimetridazole and the rest you mentioned?
Yes. Dimetridazole, enrofloxacin, and sulfamide are the 3 drugs that we should always avoid in this. Always. We will have badly marks in the feeders for sure if we use it. So of course, and the other important thing, after the treatments for preparation for the molting season, we should do a good disinfection of the loft, because the eggs of the worms and coccidiosis can be there, and to stop the reinfection, we have to disinfect the loft.
So after each treatment, disinfection?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Do you have any other recommendations for fanciers to ensure a good molting?
For a good molting, we should have always a good plan, daily plan, a good preparation, of course, before, good food, and a good loft, because the loft, for example, in Portugal, we have different weathers in the points of the country. In the south, we have so good weather in this period. The weather can be so dry, and we don't have a need to close the loft. In the north, where we live, at night is very cold.
Okay.
And we have to be careful with this, and more raining in this period. This summer, for example, is not a summer in the north of Portugal. Is like autumn or something like that, or I don't know, spring, but not summer.
I'm sorry.
But so we always, every year, we have to pay attention to the weather and the loft, and try to do the best for the pigeons.
Okay. We're gonna leave all the details for the molting plan after the video. We're gonna leave your contacts from the Elite Pigeon Center, Portugal. Sara, thank you again for a very pleasant discussion, and we'll see you next time. Have a nice day.
Thank you. Thank you.